Hey, David McGuffin here. Welcome to Travel Talk Tuesday, January the 24th, 2023. Thank all of you guys for joining me tonight. And we're talking tonight about Barcelona up in the very north eastern corner of Spain. And this is going to be an introduction tonight because I have so much content on Barcelona that it's going to take at least next week to finish it up. But tonight I thought I would share a little bit about Barcelona and give you a general overview on that. Tonight we're drinking some nice Crianza wine from Spain. It's from the Rioja region, and it is not from Catalonia, which is where Barcelona is, but up further to the north. But anyway, I thought I'd just open that up because I can't find any wine directly from the Barcelona area. So salud, salute, salud in Catalan language. So without further ado, let me get started here because we're going to try to pack all this in about 20 minutes because we have another Zoom meeting coming up shortly after that. Tour meetings, and I've started doing that for pre-tour meetings for folks, and so we've got one coming up for some of our tours coming up next month. So let's go with Barcelona. So we have two tours that I operate that go through Barcelona. The first is my Best of the Med tour, which begins in Barcelona for 3 days, then goes through Provence and the Luberon area of France for about 6 days, and finishes up in the Cinque Terre for 3 days. So 3 days in Spain, 3 days in the Cinque Terre at the end, and 5 or 6 days in France, the southern part of France, for the rest of the tour. The other tour that I have is the Best of Spain tour, and that begins in Barcelona for 2 days, and we have a great time visiting Barcelona and all the attractions there. Take the high-speed train to Madrid, and then we visit Madrid, Segovia, Toledo, Granada, Nerja on the coast, Arcos. I've added in, even you see a little surprise, Gibraltar this year after some explorations last August, and we'll visit Gibraltar during the day and visit Arcos and then finish up in Sevilla. So that is the two tours that we visit Barcelona on. Now, Barcelona is a sprawling city. There's a mountain in the back and the sea on the side, and situated in the valley between the mountain and the sea is the sprawling town of Barcelona with 1.9 million people living in the area and living in Barcelona proper, and over 4 million people living in the area surrounding Barcelona. But even with that sprawling city, it's very easy for tourists because there's 4 major areas. This round circle here, if you can see on the map, is Plaça de Cataluña, and that's the main hub of Barcelona. And if you go in this direction to the cathedral area, that's one tourist part of the hub. It includes Las Ramblas, which we'll talk about tonight. If you go to the north a little bit, we have the Block of Discord and the modernista architectural style. This is a beach area, La Barcelonetta, and then this mountain over here, Montjuïc, is also an area that we'll be talking about. So those are the main tourist areas, and they're very easy to get around with by foot, by hop-on, hop-off bus, by metro, and if you want to, you can Uber or taxi as well. Accolades to this, whoever made that map. I found it on Pinterest. This is Barcelona Airport. It is about 30 minutes to the west of Barcelona City. Easy connections by a fast bus or subway into the city center to Plaça de Cataluña. This is Plaça de Cataluña, and as I've already mentioned, it connects the main parts of the city. The next segment up is going to be that map again, and let me explain it to you and pull out my notes here just real quick. There's 4 major streets. Las Ramblas, which is this pedestrian street going down here. We also have this pedestrian street that kind of goes through here to the Cathedral District called the Avenue of the Portal of the Angels. And both of those areas are in the historic core, the old town of Barcelona. To the north is, okay, I just unmuted myself, so you probably didn't hear a word I said, but we had technical difficulties. Now we're ready to go talking about Barcelona. Let me let this thing run because you see the city map. The next thing we're going to talk about is the ancient cathedral district of Barcelona. That's in this area. It's called the Barrio Gòtic. And it's the old town because the Romans settled this town in the 1st century BC. And they settled on the highest hill up from the seaside that was possible. Here's David to tell you about it.
Today I am in Barcelona, Spain, in front of this cathedral here that dominates the old town, the Barrio Gòtic. It's a beautiful cathedral, but what we see here is a product of about 800 years of construction. This thing was begun around 1000 AD, and the facade was not completed until the end of the 1800s, the first section of the 1900s. And so all kind of architectural style. We're going to walk inside here so we can take a look around. But before we do, let's look at the cathedral square and some of the area right here. You can see Barcelona is live with people today. It's a Monday afternoon, a lot going on here.
We were there in August, normally a very hot time, and it was warm, but it was pleasant because there was a sea breeze and many people were on vacation. Many of the locals were on vacation. Right, if I'm looking at the cathedral, if you think about going to the right, this piece of art shows up. Barcino was the Roman name of the city, and these are the Roman gates that the Romans built. And right here next to it in this area is right here behind me standing there is part of the ancient Roman wall and part of an aqueduct. If I turn around and do a 360-degree turn, this is the College of the Catalan Architects. And this is kind of interesting because this whole facade here was designed and was designed by Pablo Picasso, and he had a very big point in making sure that this facade came up and reflects the everyday life in the Catalonian people, from the dance that they do locally, from kings and queens being greeted coming into the area by locals with palm branches, from musicians, seaside, horses, all of that is right here on this facade of the architect school. That's right here near the cathedral, right in that area of Barcelona. You see, I talked about this big hill called Tibidabo Hill. And in between that, on up the street, is this area called the Block of Discord. Now, from the late 1800s to the early 1900s, this whole area blossomed with a new construction, and many rich people had hired architects that were through the persuasion of modernist architectural style. And you can see there's not a straight line in the building hardly. And these are right up here. There's several of these houses, or I guess I should say apartment complexes, that are right on display on the Block of Discord. Antonio Gaudi is this most famous one, which is called La Perdella, which means the quarry. And it's the most famous one, but that's one of the main things you go to see in Barcelona, is this modern architectural style. Same thing, Art Nouveau in France and Jugendstil in Germany, all happened during that same time and same era. It's like building a sandcastle is what I think of at the beach. and is kind of dripping with all kind of droopy lines, but nothing straight, nothing that fits in. This whole area called the Eixample was designed in the late 1800s by the city of Barcelona, this whole area right here. And it's on a grid plan with streets going perpendicular to the ocean and parallel to the ocean, and two grand avenues cutting across diagonally. Down further south is the old port and the beach and the area called Barcelonetta. Now, this is the port here, and you can see quite a nice yacht sitting there in the harbor. This is along the beachfront, people seeking shade during the middle of the afternoon, because right behind me is the beach.
Today I'm in Barcelona, Spain. Just arrived here yesterday and have about 2.5 days here that we're enjoying the city. Just beginning my best of Spain tour, which is right here in Barcelona, and we're off to Madrid in the next couple of 3 days from here. But I'm standing in the region of a town called the Old Port, and the area here, I make a spin around here, it's a relatively new area called Barcelonetta, and it's the beach area. It was reclaimed from the seaside some years ago, back in 1992, I think, when the Olympics were here. So we're going to take a little look around this area and the beach.
Again, the ports with the modern day yachts there. This is the yacht harbor and the old harbor. That mountain in the background is that huge mountain that we'll talk about next week called Montjuïc. And this is the beach. It was man-made, like I said, in 1992 for the Summer Olympics. And it is a beautiful beach. And many people get out there, and you can see that there is no surf at all. But the water's clear and the sand is clean. So you enjoy the beach. There are beachside bars and everything to go up and get lunch and drink and all of that stuff. But it is a great place to escape the city on a hot summer day. Just a short subway ride away from the main town of Barcelona. Many cruise ships come into Barcelona, and if the cruise ship harbor is looking at this screen to the right, and they're kind of sequestered all in one place. They come in for the day and leave, and you are very lucky if you pick a day to arrive in Barcelona that there are no cruise ships there. We're taking a hop-on, hop-off bus ride through town here, and this is going down through there in one of the scenery on the bus ride. The next area, I want to talk to you about is also, this is where we were just now, right here. So we talked about the cathedral, and then Las Ramblas is the main street that flows down from Plaça de Cataluña to the harbor. Back in the day, it was really important with the locals because there was this market called La Bolqueria there, where everybody would come and do their shopping. Now it's more of a touristic area, and a lot of pickpockets hang out there, so watch out. There's a lot of restaurants with hawkers out there who will lure you in with a free drink of a glass of cheap wine and then have you a big bill. So my recommendation is go elsewhere for dining, which I'll share with you next week when we talk more about Barcelona. But this is the La Bolqueria market. You can see they have everything from seafood, fruits, vegetables, crustaceans, cows hanging from the ceiling, bread, you name it, it's all there. As a play, your one-stop shop for a meal. If only we had a stove and an oven in our hotel room. I want to stop here just a second and cut my conversation about Barcelona and let you know that we have a newly designed website, davidmcguffin.com, and I would love for you guys to go there and visit. You can see this is some sharing, and just since it's been in inception for about 2 weeks, 404 people have shared my website. either on social media. I'd appreciate it if you go there, click on that and share it with your friends. And most importantly, I would love for you to scroll down beyond the main screen here and visit reviews of our tours. And you click on that. And if you do that, I would love you to, number one, read some of the reviews of our tours. But with the pandemic and everything, we were kind of slow on reviews for 2000 and 2021. So if you've traveled with me in the last 18 months, I would love for you to go on there and write a review. And it's very easy to do that. Please consider doing that. It would help me out greatly and let others who want to travel with me know what my tours are like to Europe. Now, next week, we're coming back with more Barcelona. I'm devoting the entire show to this grand cathedral by Antonio Gaudi. He began construction in that in the late 1800s, and it is still under construction today, as you can see. It's due to be completed in 2026, they tell me. And if that happens, or when that happens, I'm going to be back there to go in and see the entire thing completed. But for now, I would say that 85% is completed and finished up, and you can see us in that modern art style that originated here in Barcelona by Antonio Gaudi. So please tune in next week, and until then, until next week on Travel Talk Tuesday, I'll catch you later. Thanks, take care, have a good evening.